Ladies and gentlemen, prepare your eyeballs, because today we are checking out 3 of the scariest stories I could find on YouTube. Let's check out the first one, guys. Story number 1. If you guys enjoy this, by the way, and get scared, make sure you guys leave a like on today's video, and I will definitely check out more from this channel.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me when I was a kid. I grew up in a huge house by the beach with my little sister Amy.
That is a pretty nice
She was
house.
a year younger than me. Being the youngest and the pretty little princess of our family, everyone loved her like crazy.
Okay, so there's the older
My
brother,
mom always
younger
gave me a
sister,
lecture
and then the
on how I need
parents.
to be the big brother and take care of her all the time. All that overflown love spoiled my sister to such an extent that she became stubborn and nagging whenever things didn't go her way. In front of my parents and family, she would behave like she is the angel on the earth.
Oh,
But in
that's the
reality,
worst.
She was different in the wrong way. She never apologized after making a mistake.
What?
And no matter how many times she got punished, she always found her way around it. I guess it was partially my mother's fault for being too easy on her.
That makes
I
sense.
still
Yeah, I would
remember
be
the
so
day the
mad if I
principal
was the
called
older
Dad
brother.
saying there has been an accident in school.
Huh?
I was with my grandparents, but when I came home, I heard a girl named Sally was found dead in the girls' bathroom.
What?
No one knows what exactly happened to her, but it seems like she slipped somehow and smashed her face on the glass mirror.
Oh my
leading to
god!
broken glass.
Whoa! I
She
was
bled
not
to
expecting it to be that graphic.
It was a pretty violent sight.
Yeah, okay,
When
cut the
cops
scene.
inquired
Holy
everyone about
smokes.
this incident, the school janitor said he saw Amy coming out of the washroom right before Sally's body was discovered.
Oh my
But
god.
she was just a little girl. Who would suspect her? But I knew. I knew what she was.
Really?
With more days passing, I started to become scared of her. Yeah, scared of my little sister. Funny, huh? But when you wake
This
up in
is
the middle
so
of the
creepy.
night finding your weird sister standing near your bed,
What?
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 And expressionless face.
Guys, I'm getting
can't laugh
goosebumps
it
up and
off.
down my arms.
Why did she do that?
That is so
I
creepy.
don't know, and I never dared to ask. Whoever didn't agree with her,
Why would
or
you
said
not
no,
ask?
faced the consequence, labeled under the tag of an accident. She loved stomping on any insect.
Okay, she definitely murdered, or I don't even know if that was her friend. She definitely killed the other girl, and she got away with it somehow because she's like, just like, I don't know, a 10-year-old little girl, and nobody would expect a 10-year-old little sweet girl to commit a murder like that. But she definitely, I don't know if she's human, by the way. The way that she was staring at her brother was really creepy, and I don't know why somebody would do that unless they were, I don't know, like really messed up in the head, had some problems, or maybe they're an alien sent down from Jupiter to, I don't know, dissect human brains. That's just my thought.
Even if it's miles away from her. She grabbed butterflies with her soft red fingers and tore their wings apart with joy.
Okay, she just keeps
Whenever
getting
birds
worse.
hurt their wings and landed in our backyard, instead of aiding them like every normal kid, Amy fed the already suffering bird to our
What?
neighbor's ferocious dog.
Why would
She
you
chuckled
do
in
that?
excitement as the dog shredded the flapping bird into bits and pieces.
Okay, yeah, clearly this
My
girl is
parents
messed
never
up.
paid attention to her cruel nature, even if I told them repeatedly. But one day, things took a dangerous turn. We used to go to the beach almost every weekend. I loved walking by the shore, submerging my feet into the salty waves. At some distance from the shore, there were rusty old caves. The area was secluded, as very few people went there. Whenever I needed a place to escape, I used to go there. I pretended like the caves were my kingdom, and I was the king of an invisible ray. I kept lots of my toys there, and everything I could collect from the beach. I never told Amy about this place, but nothing can be hidden from her vulture eyes.
Oh, she's
One
gonna
weekend,
find him.
We went to the beach, and my parents put up a small picnic near the shore. Amy got busy building her sandcastles.
She just looks
and then demolishing
so
them
scary.
with one kick.
Why?
I think she felt more joy
What
in destroying them
psychopath
than
does
building
that?
them. I secretly snuck out from there and went to my territory. I put up a wooden plank on the entrance of a small cave, like a door to my castle.
Oh, sweet.
I slowly shifted the plank and got inside. I was just about to close it when I heard a chuckle behind me. Out of fear and shock, I turned
Oh,
around and found Amy.
what are
sitting
you
inside the
doing
cave
here?
already. You think you can hide from me? She said in her cold, squeaky voice.
what?
I wasn't hiding from you. I just came here to be with myself. I replied and sat down on the ground. You hate me, right? Secretly, you wish I was never born, right? What? I don't wish that. Oh, but I do.
What?
I wish I was the only child and mommy and daddy never had you. I would have gotten all their attention. You anyway get that.
Oh.
Don't worry. Once I grow up, I'll move far away from you all. You're such a dork. Come on, let's go. Amy got up and started to walk out of the cave. Where? Where are you going? I asked impatiently. I saw a big cave at the back. Don't you want to explore that?
Guys, I'm getting creeped out right now. I can't tell if she's just like a little girl and she's kind of creepy, but she's not doing it on purpose, or if she's kind of like Azula, if you guys know her from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where she is super serious and super smart, and she's also really creepy and menacing. Like, I have a feeling this little girl, even though she's a little girl, she's smarter than she looks, and she's really scary. Like, she just basically admitted that she wants to be an only child, and now she's trying to lure her older brother to a random secluded cave out in the middle of nowhere, and we don't know what's gonna happen. If I had to guess, I don't know. We know that she's probably killed somebody else, and she just admitted that she wants to be an only sibling, an only child. So I probably would not follow my sister into a cave knowing these facts.
Her eyes sparkled as she said this. But we can lose our way. Besides, what if there's something inside those caves? Like what?
Like a
tiger?
Tiny 12-year-old little crazy girl killer?
Also, I want to try this out. So far, I didn't notice her hands.
But as I did, what is that?
I saw she was holding Dad's metal detector.
Oh.
I know Dad keeps his things in his study, and we're not supposed to touch them. I said in a tense voice, "Why did you bring that? You know we shouldn't be playing with Dad's equipment." Oh, come on. He wouldn't know unless you tell him. And you won't tell him. I knew she was not going to back off. We came out and started walking to the big cave behind the bushes. The summer wind created a rustling sound in the coconut trees. The big old cave stood like an epitome of mystery. Moss and fungus were growing all over its wall. Amy stopped right in front of the cave and stared at the dark, hollow entrance ahead. "Why are we even here?" I asked fearfully. "We are going to look for treasure. Don't you remember the story Mom told us last night? Caves like this are filled with treasures. Now let's go for our treasure hunt."
Guys, I've watched too many SCP videos on this channel. Like, I have a weird feeling that she's an SCP. But, like, obviously, this isn't an SCP YouTube channel that we're checking out. So, it's like, she's not an SCP, but I don't know. There's just, like, too many weird things about this little girl that are creeping me out and giving me the EBGBs. So, I have a feeling something really bad is about to happen.
Amy handed me a small flashlight and told me to show the way. I realized how mean and selfish she is. If anything bad came at us, she wanted me to face it. My own sister was using me as her shield just to have some fun in a stupid treasure hunt. But she was very greedy. If Amy found something attractive, my parents had to buy it for her, and if they didn't, she didn't hesitate to steal it at all. Mom's story triggered her to think she was going to find a hidden treasure inside this cave. That's why she brought Dad's metal detector. But I was sure. I knew she would go home empty-handed.
Oh.
I was walking with a flashlight while she strolled with her metal detector behind me. The continuous beeping of the detector.
I'll be honest, nobody forced him to go. Like, he could have just said no.
I flashed the light on the ceiling, and an army of ugly, stinky bats scaring the hell out of me. Ah! You silly. Don't flash your light on them, idiot.
Yo, she is so mean.
Maybe it was her cruel nature that made her immune to all kinds of jump scares. She snatched the flashlight from my hand and took the lead. Without saying a single word, I followed her. Even though she was not the perfect sister, I couldn't ditch her inside a dark cave. After walking for a minute or so, the metal detector started to make
they got something,
denoting it had found something.
Oh, I hope it's not like a dead body or anything.
The wet, muddy ground with her beach shovel. Within 5 seconds, she screamed.
Oh, nice!
Look what I found!
She found some like diamonds.
She lifted her hand, and in the flashlight, I saw a sparkling bracelet. Her face lit up even more greed. The bracelet was shining like the stars in the night sky. I didn't at all expect something like this to be found here.
Well, I mean, that's pretty
Amy
good.
Picked up the detector and started.
She's obviously not going to share, but at least nothing bad's happening.
You got your treasure. Let's go now. It's getting dark and Mom will be worried. No way. We have just started. If you want to go,
They're gonna
you
go
can go.
even deeper?
Fine. I am done here.
Oh,
I turned
no,
back while
dude.
Amy went in with a detector and flashlight. When I heard
See?
my sister's spine
See what I'm
scream,
saying?
I ran inside.
Okay, at
irrespective
least
of
he
the
went
darkness.
back.
I could barely see ahead when I heard a collapse of boulders. At the end of the cave,
Oh,
I found
no.
Amy's flashlight. The glass got broken, but was still on. A beeping sound was going crazy in the dark.
Oh,
And there was another sound
what?
in that empty cave.
What is that?
The sound of a little girl choking.
What is
I
she
flashed the
choking
light
on?
Following the sound, and I couldn't blink anymore. Amy was
Oh!
smashed under big
No!
rocks falling from the roof of the cave.
Oh my
Her
god.
partial face had
Oh.
no features.
No,
Flesh and
I don't
blood
want to
all
see it.
over the place.
Oh
But with
no.
the half remaining face, she was staring at me. She was looking at me with one eye and trying to tell me something, but the excessive blood choked her.
Are
coughed
you
blood.
kidding
Her
me?
body trembled like those wounded birds when the neighbor's dog ate them alive.
What?
I will never be able to get that sight out of my mind.
Yeah, me neither.
My parents rescued me with the
Holy
help of the cops.
smokes.
After searching for us for almost an hour, they finally came.
Guys,
to look
that's
at the
why
cave
you don't go
and
into
found me standing
caves.
like a statue with
Caves
my
are
legs.
dangerous.
It was all an accident. No one had any doubt of that. My mom never spoke a word after that.
Wow.
Cops said the cave's roof somehow collapsed and it was nothing but an unfortunate event. I won't say that I don't miss her, but we learned to move on. I accepted her fate and grieved for her terrible death for years.
I have a weird feeling there's a
Yesterday,
twist coming
My mom
around.
passed away in her sleep, and her attorney handed me a letter that she left for me. The letter
What is
read,
it?
My dear Jim, we all loved Amy in our own ways. I know you resent me for not raising her with more discipline and good habits. I agree, I was weak, but then I finally realized.
What?
The day Sally died, I knew what a monster I had created.
What?
I had to put an end to this.
No.
The cave's roof
No.
didn't collapse on its own. I was the one who buried the
You gotta be
bracelet
kidding me.
inside and told Amy the made-up story
No
about treasure just to make her go there
freaking
looking
way.
for it. I sacrificed my own child so that she can't hurt anyone else.
Wait, so,
It was better that
wait a
she
second. So the mom, I feel like the mom maybe either knew or she thought that her daughter killed the other girl in the bathroom at the beginning of the episode. So rather than, do a normal thing like go to the police and maybe like try to get an investigation started on her little daughter, she decided to make this elaborate plan to basically get rid of her daughter. This entire family is so messed up. Like this the older brother is in the worst situation possible. Her mom just admitted to it. How? Like, oh my God. Oh my God. I did not think it could get any worse.
get the punishment from me rather than rotting in a cell for the rest of her life.
What?
I hope you forgive me for taking your sister away too soon. I am glad that at least one of my children grew up to be a human being.
What the heck?
Mom.
Wow.
Hey guys, I see many of you commenting on my video
Okay, just cut this part out. We'll just cut to the next one.
later.
Okay, guys, next up, story number 2. This one's
parents
even
worked as
creepier
wildlife
than the last one, which
They
I don't know
always
how that's
encouraged me to
possible.
Take part in trekking clubs, summer camps, or any activity that includes nature. I learned a lot while exploring the wilderness, but this one memory still makes my entrails churn in disgust.
Okay, that's
I
pretty
went to a summer
specific.
camp in Sebago Lake. My parents went to Australia for a project at that time. Instead of sending me to my grandparents, they sent me to this camp so that I can learn some skills while having a good time with other kids.
Like, what
The
kind
camp
of
instructor
skills?
Was a friend of my parents. I never knew his first name because everyone called him Mr. Bailiff. He
Okay.
was a strong, healthy man in his late 40s who always inspired us to take the extra step for the sake of adventure. He had a small team of senior campers who were assigned to navigate us through the day-to-day routine.
Seems pretty
The
fun.
senior campers were boys and girls aging from 16 to 17 years. All of them were pretty familiar with the camp style, which made me realize they have been with Mr. Bailiff for a long time.
Okay, so they
I,
all
on the
are
other
like
hand,
repeat
wasn't a newcomer
campers.
either, as it was my third summer camp.
Oh, so is he.
I have
Okay.
always been an active child and loved taking part in almost everything. Apart from the co-curricular, I loved taking part in the summer treasure hunt. Almost every kid waited for it eagerly. To keep the game more spontaneous, Mr. Bailiff introduced this all-of-a-sudden technique. Whenever the air horn went on, everyone rushed outside to find a big jar filled with clues.
Oh,
The teams were divided.
interesting.
The game began. We had to search all over the campsite, and sometimes
Well, that's pretty
even
fun.
went inside the woods looking for clues. I
It
was
seems
loving
a
my
little
stay
bit
there,
dangerous,
but with
actually.
time, I started to realize Mr. Bailiff is not the kind of man I thought he is.
What does
He
that
used to get
mean?
rude and insulting at times. If a kid couldn't pull off the task up to his expectations, he beat the shit out of that kid.
Yo!
With a horrible choice of words.
What?
The anger in his eyes made him look ferocious when he scolded a kid over nothing.
Okay, so this guy started out as like the cool, fun camp counselor, and now he's turning into not that. The complete opposite of that. This guy, look at his eyeballs. He's so angry, his eyeballs are popping out of his sockets.
The senior campers never stopped him, which implies they were too scared to face him.
Yeah, of
Some seniors
course.
explained to us that Mr. Bailiff is only a strict instructor and means no harm. But what he did during our warm-up session made me feel disgusted. There was this one boy named Kurt who loved eating a lot. He was a bit overweight, but we were just kids. At that age, no one could say no to chocolate pudding.
Well, yeah, I still
Loved
can't.
chocolate pudding and couldn't resist himself. After breakfast, we went to our wilderness exploration with Mr. Bailiff. He was teaching us about the different kind of plants and animals residing in our ecosystem.
Oh, pretty cool.
Everyone was listening to him with great attention when a girl screamed in fear. We all
Why?
turned to her and saw her pointing at the ground behind a bush. Mr. Bailiff walked to her.
Oh,
Everyone else followed.
no, what
As
is
we
it?
reached near the bush, we saw rotten
Oh!
remains of a dead possum. Flies were hovering on it, and a bad stench.
Ooh, I
covered
can
the air
smell it
nearby.
through the screen.
Mr. Bailiff turned to us
Ew,
and said,
gross.
"No need to be scared. This is just a circle of life. Does anyone want to step ahead to bury this little guy?"
No, that's
But these were
okay.
Mr. Bailiff's weird life lessons that we had to abide by. When no one stepped up, he chose Kurt to do this job. With an overfilled tummy and long walk in the heat, Kurt was
Oh
feeling
no,
uncomfortable
dude.
enough.
He's gonna
He
throw
said in
up.
a scared voice, I don't want to do this, sir." "Why? Don't you know how to fig dirt?" "No, I do, but I don't want to go near it. It stinks." Mr. Bailiff screamed
Oh,
at
look at him.
Susan
Look at his
and forced him to
eyeballs.
bury that possum's remain under the ground. Kurt dug up the first chunk of mud, and I heard him gag once.
Oh.
No doubt he was feeling nauseous.
Oh, that
As
is
soon as I
gross,
leaned over
dude.
to
I'm
lift the
feeling
possum
nauseous
with
and
a
I'm not
stick,
even there.
He puked on himself.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it was going to
Undigested
happen.
pudding was all over his clothes.
Oh, dude, I feel
He
so
started
bad.
sobbing out of embarrassment. But Mr. Bailiff didn't spare him, even after
What?
that. He yelled.
This guy's insane.
"I don't care if you vomit everywhere or even shit your pants. If you
What?
don't finish this task, I will make you eat your puke, boy."
What, dude? Okay, something is really messed up with this
He did
guy.
as he was told,
Are you
while
kidding me?
being
And
drenched
none of
with
the
tears.
volunteers are saying
The
anything.
camp of enjoyment soon started
This
to
is
turn
so
into the
messed
camp of
up.
torture. Mr. Bailiff was just too smart. He tortured the kids in the name of wilderness exploration
Wow.
and made it seem like he was teaching us how to overcome our comfort zone.
Guys, the scariest part of these stories is the fact that it kind of sounds like this could happen in real life. Like, obviously, it's a made up story, but I mean, these situations, I don't know, like they're just so realistic. Kind of similar to the SCP videos. It starts out kind of normal, and then it gets really, really, really intense and scary and insane. But I could see this happening. I could see there being some sort of like summer camp in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of like teenager volunteers as the camp counselors, and then there's somebody running the entire camp, the leader of the entire group, just being the worst human being on planet Earth. And then there's nothing that the kids can do. I mean, if you are in a similar situation, you have to tell somebody. You have to like figure out a way to call your parents, tell the volunteers, tell anybody else that this is happening, because this is not okay. This is definitely not okay whatsoever.
Every kid in my dorm wished this nightmare to end so that they could return home. On the last week of our summer camp, we were counting days for it to end when Mr. Bailiff announced a treasure hunt.
Oh, here we
Following
go.
the rules, we got divided into teams and handed over the clues. There were artificial obstacles created for us to increase the thrill. Small hurdles such as crawling through a muddy ditch,
Okay.
jumping fences, climbing ropes to collect a clue.
That seems
was a part of
pretty
it.
normal.
Our team had to search for one clue inside the woods. Signboards were scattered around
Whoa.
to give us hints on where the last
That
clue
looks
could
so
be.
confusing.
We were a team of 4, and to win the game, we decided to split up and look for it.
Oh,
I was
no.
walking by a small trail when I felt someone go behind the tree nearby. I
What?
couldn't see at first, but a small hand appeared behind the tree.
What is that?
Hello? Is it
Please,
Jim?
please don't be a
No
monster.
answer came. I walked close to the tree and peeked to see who's
What?
behind it, but found no one.
Okay, guys, okay, all right. I'm getting goosebumps up and down my arms right now. What the flip is happening? There was clearly somebody there. Where did they go?
Funny footsteps made a rustling sound on the dried leaves, and a chuckle appeared. I turned around and saw a small boy dressed as a Boy Scout. He was my age. A weird smile took place on his face and he said, "Are you playing the treasure hunt?" I nodded yes and asked, "Are you from our camp? I have never seen you before." He looked up to the tree branch above his head and said, "Is Mr. Bailiff around?" I said in a confused voice, "Yeah, he is conducting the game. I have to find the last clue or else." "Parker,
What?
who are you talking to?"
Yo, what is
I found
happening?
Mr. Bailiff standing behind me with a pissed off face.
What is
I was going to introduce him
happening?
to that boy, but he was nowhere to be found.
Where did he go?
Mr. Bailiff started scolding me for wasting time when I noticed the boy coming from the bush nearby.
Huh?
I pointed at him, telling Mr. Bailiff that he is the one I was talking to. And Mr. Bailiff's face turned pale. He stared at the boy with a shocking face.
I'm so
For the first
confused.
time, I saw him scared.
Okay, so I mean, I have a guess. This kid was probably at the camp years and years ago, and maybe he died during one of the camp counselor's treasure hunts. And he's coming back to haunt him and make sure that nothing bad ever happens again. This is the last thing I expected, dude. There's a ghost inside of the forest.
He said in a fumbled voice, "But you were dead." The boy chuckled and looked at the branch above
So
his
he
head
knows who he
and
is.
then back at him. "Why did you force me to climb this tree?" He started to walk towards Mr. Bailiff. I was stunned to see how excessively scared Mr. Bailiff was.
Oh
of this
my
man.
goodness.
The more the boy walked close to him, the more Mr. Bailiff stepped back. He was sweating in fear and mumbled something. I couldn't make out what he was trying to say, but
That's a pretty
I noticed
big
he was going
fall.
to a steep edge. Mr. Bailiff was one step away from the edge when the boy stopped. He stood silently for some time, and then his head turned back at me. Just his head. I could hear the crushing of bones as his head turned to his back, and he looked at the tree once again.
What?
And then ripped
Oh, okay.
Mr. Bailiff screamed.
Oh, okay.
Huge fall.
What?
I made it too after seeing such a.
What?
The senior campers rescued me and called the cops.
Mr.
Mr. Bailiff was taken to the
He
hospital.
lived?
Even though he didn't die,
What?
he broke his neck in such a terrible way that he has become paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Holy
Before I
smokes.
could ask who that boy was, I overheard an incident that happened 2 years back. A boy named David
Oh,
came here
wow.
for the summer.
That's him.
During one game of treasure hunt, Mr. Bailiff went a bit too rough on him and forced him to climb that tall tree, irrespective of the dangers that
Oh,
could occur.
no.
The boy was scared and traumatized, but Mr. Bailiff went on pushing him like always. Suddenly, he slipped and fell to the ground. Anyone could catch him.
Okay, so Mr. Bailiff should have been in prison. Like, he forced a kid to go into a tree knowing that the kid was already scared and there was a possibility he could fall and get injured. And a kid doesn't know any better. Like, if you listen to a teacher, like, you know, you're trusting that the teacher is going to tell you something that isn't going to get you injured or potentially end up dead. So obviously this guy was not a good guy, and karma ended up coming back around and getting him in the form of a ghost.
He broke his neck and never woke up again. His parents
That's
were
so
told
sad.
it was just an accident, and no
It
one
clearly
revealed how
wasn't.
responsible Mr. Bailiff was for that. I am happy that the poor kid got his revenge.
Yeah, me
A
too.
man like Mr. Bailiff deserves it.
I think so too, but comment down below what you guys think. But this is it, guys. Story number 3, the
I went to
weirdest
medical
and
school,
creepiest
a great
one
vintage
yet.
of Human anatomy. On the campus of our medical school, we had an adjacent hospital. Sometimes, professors took our anatomy classes in the hospital labs. Due to this, we had direct access to the hospital morgue. Sometimes, we brought several limbs, a pair of brains, or a dissected eye to understand the human body better. The smell of death surpasses every odor in this world. I have witnessed students collapsing on the morgue
Ew.
floor while witnessing embalming or dissection of a particular organ. Slowly, everyone catches up because you know what to expect before choosing this field.
I would definitely
But there's
faint
this one girl
every
in our
single
batch
time.
who never did well around a corpse. For the sake of this story, we'll call her Lizzie. Lizzie was labeled as the scaredy cat of our batch, and many ridiculed her for weak nerves. One day, when I went to the cafeteria and saw Lizzie sitting on a corner bench and crying silently, I felt bad for her, so I walked up to her. "Hey, are you all right?" She quickly wiped her tears and replied in a low voice, Yes, I'm fine. Listen, if you want, I can help you to get better at the practical." "You would? Why?" "Because I know you are good at this. All you need is some little practice." A smile of hope blossomed on her
Okay.
face, and she agreed.
So far, it seems
Since that day,
pretty
after
normal.
classes,
Not that
Lizzie and I
scary.
started to work on our practical skills on a corpse. Sometimes, to make things easier for her, I even instructed her to operate on a dummy first and then go for a real dead body.
Oh,
She
interesting.
started to get better with time. One day, I was going to my room after a practice session with Lizzie when Ben pulled me aside.
Hi, Ben.
Ben was the notorious one in our group.
Ben has
and
some
always
big
walked around
bug
with his
eyes.
two sidekicks, Justin and Tim. Needless to
Okay.
say, he's the one who made
Why
fun
is
of
the guy
Lizzie
in the back
most.
biting his lip?
Having fun with your little girlfriend, huh? We are just good friends, Ben. And it's none of your business anyway. Yeah, I know. But you know what, pretty boy? You helping her can create a problem for all of us.
Why?
I didn't understand how helping Lizzie can create problems.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I kept staring at him with a confused face. He came close to me and said, "You know, she's already doing great in the theories, and it's almost impossible to beat her there. So, if she gets better in practical too, she will be a competitor for the special scholarship program. And you and I both know only 2 people are going to get that.
I mean, I guess
One
that's
can be
kind
you.
of a good point.
And one can be me.
But at the same time, I feel like
Then
you should
why
still
bring this
help
extra
your friend
competition?
try to get better at
Be
being a
smart,
doctor.
Andrew. If you were so confident that you will get in, then why bother about the number 2? You better concentrate on your studies instead of others' achievements.
Yeah, exactly.
I walked away like a boss. and I could
Like
see
a
his face turn
boss.
Cold with my unsatisfied reply. He gave me an evil grin and walked away. I knew people like him can only talk, so I ignored it. But I failed to see the bad omen lurking behind all of this.
Yeah, what is it?
The next day, our professor was teaching us how to do a bypass surgery
Lizzie does
when
not
Ben
look
pulled a
well.
disgusting stunt. Lizzie was standing right next to the professor, and she was already a bit grossed out seeing the blood and foul liquids dripping out the disposal.
Yeah, I
was
would be
standing on
too.
the
That
opposite
sounds
side
gross.
And assuring her with calm eyes that she is going to be all right. When Ben intentionally tripped on the bucket, making it fly in the air and then landing on Lizzie.
Oh my
All of that
gosh.
disposed of materials mixed with
That's
fell
so
all over her face
gross.
and body.
Oh
She screamed in terror
my
and started
God, this
vomiting
is
on the
disgusting.
floor For not being able to
I
take
don't like
the
this.
rancid smell.
I do not like
We
this.
took her away, and I watched a cruel smile sparkling on Ben's face as he stood in the corner and enjoyed the show.
Oh,
Lizzie caught a high fever and
yeah.
missed out on her first.
I mean,
practical
yeah,
exam
that is pretty messed up.
I knew he did it intentionally, but there was nothing I could do. A week went by, and Lizzie got better and rejoined the classes. We were all sitting in the lab one day when Ben stormed inside with a bunch of other students.
Guys, I feel like this story isn't that scary, but like the music makes it feel like it's like the creepiest horror story of all time. That just really goes to show like how much music makes you think a certain way about whatever it is that you're watching. Like you could literally put happy music over this, and I feel like you would think this is a happy story. So I'm kind of waiting for something to go wrong. Like there's going to be a twist at some point. I can't really tell what it's going to be.
Are you all ready for the fun tonight? He yelled in joy.
What's the fun
Everyone
tonight?
raised their hands to cheer with him.
Do they graduate?
There's going to be a treasure hunt game tonight.
Oh,
And it's a
cool.
tradition
Another treasure
that
hunt.
Everyone must take part in. After dinner, we all gathered in the community hall of the hostel. 3 groups were formed, with 5 members in each. I don't know why, but Ben selected Lizzie on his team. We were handed over clues.
Oh
and
my
directed to
gosh.
find the treasure
He's going to
that had
set
been
her
hidden
up.
inside the
Of
hostel
course he
premises.
is.
Every group ran in different directions, following their clue. Lizzie looked at me with a nervous face, and I assured her she'll be okay.
I don't know
Ben's
about that
group went
one.
to the left, and mine to the right. The clues were very kiddish, and it didn't take us much to solve. Our team was walking down the emergency stairs, looking for the last and final clue, when I overheard a conversation. It was Justin and Tim. Can't wait to
Okay.
see the show tonight. I want to see the look on her face when she finds the treasure.
Oh, but what is it?
Lizzie. Ben is going to scare the hell out of her. Hearing this, I rushed following their voices.
This is a good
and found
guy.
her going to
This
the
guy's
other
a
side of the
W.
building. I grabbed Justin's t-shirt from behind and punched him on
Oh,
the shoulder.
wow. Okay.
What the hell is going on? Where's Ben?
I didn't expect
Let me
that.
go. Tell me his evil plan, or I will punch you until your guts come out of your mouth.
Yo,
Ben has placed a severed hand under Lizzie's pillow, which is the treasure we're all playing for.
are you serious?
Trust me.
How did they
It's
all
him.
How'd they
I
all
didn't
fall
do
for
anything.
this?
He wanted to scare her. That's why he planned this entire hunt. I ran to
That's
Lizzie's room.
gross.
I knew if she gets a shock again, she will probably leave this course and return home. She will lose all hope, and her life will be ruined by some jerk. As soon as I reached her room, I saw Ben standing outside her door and trying to listen to what's happening inside. Everyone else was also gathered there, and I felt sick seeing them make fun of a traumatized girl. Seeing me rush towards her room, he understood I'm going to bulldoze his bizarre treasure hunt. He jumped on me.
No.
Before I could free myself, his two sidekicks
Oh, you
grabbed
gotta
me
be
from
kidding
behind
me.
and pinned me down on the floor. No, pretty boy. You're not gonna ruin my plan. Just a minute more, and it will all be
Guys, this is terrible.
Lizzie will
This
win
guy
after
stinks.
she finds the treasure. Justin and Tim grabbed me tightly. Ben placed his hands on my mouth so I could alarm Lizzie
I
by
feel
making
so
any sound.
bad for Lizzie.
Everything was quiet, and I could hear movements inside the room. I told myself, any minute now. Lizzie is probably heading to her bed, and she is soon to discover a bloody hand under her pillow. 5
Eee.
seconds went by. A minute went by.
What?
5 minutes
What?
went by.
She didn't
and
find
I
it
didn't
yet?
hear her scream.
What's going
By
on?
this time, everyone reached near her room and started to rebuke Ben for his disgusting prank.
Yeah, what's
Getting
going
scared by my
on?
group, Tim and Justin let me go, and a huge brawl took place.
Is she okay?
We all bolted inside the room, and I screamed, "Lizzie, are you?" But as we all
What?
stepped in the room,
What?
found Lizzie sitting on her bed and munching the flesh.
What?
Her entire mouth was smeared with blood and skin.
What?
Crawling on her lips from that hand. A reeking smell shook the fresh air in the room. Some started vomiting before seeing her ass.
What is she doing?
And Tim ran away screaming.
Why?
Ben stood there
Why?
like a statue. Who knew a stupid treasure hunt will take such a terrifying turn?
What is
I took a
happening?
step ahead, shaking with fear.
That was the
Saying
last
in a
thing I
frightened
expected.
voice, "Liz,
Why is she doing
what
this?
are you doing? Liz, stop it!" She looked at me as if she doesn't know who I am. Her eyes were wide, and for the first time, I didn't see any fear
She
in them.
turned into a different
She looked back
creature.
at the hand, and then at Ben. A scary, hungry grin
Oh
appeared.
my
on
god, look at her
face.
teeth.
She slowly
She's
got up from the
British.
bed and jumped on Ben all of a sudden.
Okay, so she
Before
definitely
anyone could
turned
stop
into
her,
like
she
a
got
Wendigo
two
or
chunks of
whatever
flesh
that
from
thing
Ben's
is
neck,
called.
And Ben fell on the floor, drowning in his own blood.
What?
Blood splattered all
Look
over
at
the
her
walls
eye
and Lizzie's
sockets.
face.
They are
She
so
wiped her
dark.
face with Ben's blood and started laughing. I win! I found the treasure! I win!
All right, guys, let's just
couldn't save Ben that night.
wrap up the
He
treasure
had heart
hunt.
failure out of shock and fear. Also, he suffered excessive blood loss on his way to the ICU.
Wow.
Lizzie ended up in a mental institution.
Well, yeah.
I still visit her
But
sometimes.
what
It
happened?
aches my heart how she doesn't recognize me. Or
Was it
anyone
like the
anymore.
blood that got
She
splashed
just
on her?
Sits in the corner of her room.
Did she just lose her mind when she saw the hand?
She even laughs and giggles on her own and says,
What?
"I win. I found the treasure."
Wow, that broke her. Okay, good one. You can stop now. Okay. Okay, you need help. Somebody should maybe give you medicine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, those were 3 of the scariest stories. There are a ton more, so if you guys did enjoy and want me to check out even more, make sure you guys smash like and click right here for even more scary YouTube videos.